Well, Ryan Cameron is a father, a son, a philanthropist, and the voice of Atlanta. Are you going to give us one of the Atlanta Hawks? Well, I'll let you do it when you get up there. You probably don't need a mic.
You never know. I'm going to be at the full one now.
Ryan is the former host of the #1 morning show in Atlanta, and he is so kind. I've been on his show more times than I can count. He's been promoting my books. I love him for that. This Atlanta native, 2-time Emmy Award winner. Wow. So you got a 2-time Emmy Award winner. On Tuesday, you had a Grammy nominated.
Yep.
Wow. And an Emmy also.
Yep.
So, man, you've had some high power in this room. He is the first African-American public address announcer in the history of the Atlanta Hawks franchise, where his signature for 3 call is featured in video games platforms around the world. Everybody, you got his bio. Make sure you think of questions to ask him. How many times in your life are you going? And everybody's copied his. I mean, this is an icon that you have before you right now. He has gone on to do a number of things, no longer with a radio station, but we are excited what the future holds for him. You wanted the best, and you got the best. Ryan Cameron, come up here and tell my kids what they need to know. So I know you don't need the microphone,
but it took me 12 years to get back here.
Yeah.
So I do things a little different now. What I want to do is basically have you rearrange those chairs so we can have like, kind of turn this way and kind of scoot up a little bit, because I want to have like a real discussion with you guys. I know that everybody else likes to sit in the round. If you're in the back, come on in. Let's have like a little, almost like you're trying to join the church. You know what I'm saying? The doors of the Millionaire Club are open.
Come, some of y'all come sit right here.
I love it already, Ryan. I love it.
So come on. All the space in the middle. I want to be able to see your faces. I want you to be able to see my face.
Come here.
And then you in the red shirt right there, I'm gonna need you to be my volunteer. Okay. You put your chair right here. Bring your chair up.
Man, so you really gonna tell my kids what they need to know, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it. Keep it 100. Okay, so let's start with this. I'll wait on y'all. As they say, move with purpose, move with meaning. My man in the gray in the back.
Oh no, that's my TA also.
I don't care.
Come on, Mr. Burnett.
The one thing that I have learned after leaving the radio station is now that I no longer, sometimes I would say things and I have to worry about somebody going back and saying something because I represented a company. Now I no longer represent a company, I represent myself. And so there's a difference between being an employee and a partner. A lot of people keep asking me, how do I like my new job? I don't have a job. I am now a partner in a company, which, Dr. Kimbro, you'll be pleased to know, in already 2 months of existence, has already been offered to be bought out.
Wow.
So basically, the whole deal for me today is about the story, right? So this is a dinner that I was at. You see my face over there, right? I'm going to put, what's your name, sir?
David.
David. I'm going to let David put the rest of the dinner party around the table, and then I'm going to tell you why this relates to this story today, about what's going on today. So I don't want to mix this up because this is dramatic. So I'm in Las Vegas, and a friend of mine, David, says, hey, I want you to go to this dinner with me. I said, where are we going? He says, I can't tell you. You got to put him on dinner today. I eat, man.
Ludicrous.
So I says, where are we going? He says, I can't tell you, but you're going to be really happy about it. So we go to the dinner table, and I don't know who's there, and then he puts up another picture. That is Sean Robinson, who hosts Access Hollywood on television. You know that face?
Yep.
Very, very nice young lady. So I'm walking around, I'm looking in the room, and then there's somebody else in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know this guy? That's Hill Harper, right? And then there's another person. You may know her. She's very famous, has a TV show, right? Gabrielle Union. Now, so you got me, Hill Harper, Access Hollywood, Sean Robinson, Luda, Gabrielle Union. But the host is not there yet. There's a couple more people. And then there's another person. Okay? No, you got two more there because they're over there. So that's the host chair. Right? All right? And then there's one more person. So far, it looks like a great dinner, right?
Yep.
Who would not want to be at this dinner? All right, you want to be there. And so then the host comes in.
What? I'm gonna say Obama.
Wow.
So as I'm there, and there's Prince, and you see where I'm sitting, because I'm not moving. I mean, I'm like, I'm gonna ask everything I've always wanted to know. So Prince tells Dave Chappelle in a very, very deep voice. He says, Dave, tell everybody here at the table what Dr. Maya Angelou told you when she said what she said. And then Dave says, well, she told me and if I tilted my head over and poured all the things I had done wrong into your head, how much better would your life be? So basically, think about all the things that I've done wrong, Dr. Kimbro's done wrong, that if we could just tilt our heads over and pour those mistakes into your head so you don't repeat them, how much better would your life be? And that is the story behind the story. And that's why I'm here today, because I made a ton of mistakes, right? But the very first thing I got to tell you is this: you have to start right now in building your team. Okay, I know you may think because you're a freshman and you may not have a team right now, but believe me, it'll be a whole lot easier to do things now. If you have somebody that you can roll with now, and you can come together with a group now, because remember, you guys are around the same age as when like the civil rights movement started. You see what's going on right now? Even here on this campus, y'all in the news today. Y'all know that, right? Did y'all know that y'all in the news? You know why? Because Invest Atlanta wanted to use the land that Morris Brown had to do some development. But back in 1940, when Clark College and Atlanta University, before they did the merge, somebody was smart enough to say, if y'all ever stop using this land, it goes back to Clark College.
That's right.
And then somebody came along and said, forget what y'all saying. We're going to sell this to Invest Atlanta. And then a business person said, no, you're not. So they paid $14 million for some land they don't own. And of course, keep on saying, the law is the law is the law. And that's why the Morris Brown land will again be going to Clark Atlanta University.
Woo, serious? Come on.
In the news today. Because somebody, I'm sure, had a business acumen say, you know what? What if something goes wrong? And who knew what was going to happen to Morris Brown?
Wow.
But there was somebody who had a team. I'm sure it wasn't just one person. Most of the most successful people are a team, right? You know that there's, everybody knows that there's Arthur Blank, but also Bernie Marcus. They started Home Depot at the age of 50 after getting fired. Now, when I left the radio station, a lot of people were wondering what I was going to do. I say this to you that dreams don't have deadlines.
Come on now.
Okay? And a hashtag that I didn't know I was going to come up with started from a story that I told. So Fisher Island is in Miami Beach. If you go to Miami Beach to South Beach, and across the way from Miami Beach, you have to catch a ferry that goes to Fisher Island. It's the only way you can get there other than by a boat. So I've been going there for about maybe 15 years with my kids. So Fisher Island, there's no car wash, there's no Starbucks. There's only a grocery store, 3 restaurants, a golf course, but it's your way to enjoy the beach without having to deal with all the foolishness, right? So there's a brick oven pizza place that's right down there that I like to sit there and I eat the pizza, and all the boats, all the yachts are parked right there. People park their yacht and they come in and they get pizza. And it was just recently named last week as the most expensive zip code in the United States. Wow. More than Silicon Valley. Wow. More than any place you can ever think of. The average income is $2.5 million. The average income. The average place to live there is about $5 million, right? I've been going there for 10 years. So I was sitting on the deck and eating pizza, and I told my daughter Kai, who's in the 11th grade at North Atlanta, I said, Kai, one day, I know, Dad, I know. We are going to get off our yacht and we're going to come over here and eat some pizza. And I was like, no, that's really going to happen because Daddy has yacht dreams. And I said it on the radio the day I left. And all of a sudden people started making it a hashtag. I didn't know when I said it that it was going to be a hashtag. But I'm going to say this to you today, that you have to have yacht dreams. Okay? Because I understand that it's okay. And believe me, I worked in radio for 25 plus years. And I'm not afraid to say that when I left Atlanta the first time, I had never lived outside the city. I had never really been outside Decatur. I'm from Bankhead, Zone 1. You know, had never done anything, but I got an offer. They said, okay, well, we'll give you $80,000 to come and work at WKYS in Washington, D.C. Now, I had never been to I don't know nothing about that. But I knew it was $80 grand. And then they also said, well, we'll give you $80 grand to stay here. And I said, well, what do? You always want to make sure that people are drawing a line under your name and not through it.
Wow.
From this point on, it's always going to be competition. I heard Herschel Walker say today, there's 1,000 people somewhere around the country trying to do exactly what y'all are trying to do right now, but they may not have the inner discipline. Will Smith said, if you got the discipline to discipline your mind, right? It's the same way you decided not to go to the Church's Fried Chicken. You know what it is. If you watch What the Health, you know what it is, right? So you know what you're putting in your body. So why would you try to do something that's going to hurt yourself, but you got to have the discipline, the self-discipline. This right here, you see these 2 tattoos? What's that say? What's that say, Dave?
Hard things are hard.
And what's that say? Same way, upside down. It says, hard things are hard. That's for me to tell you, and for me to remind myself. They're inverted.
Wow.
Hard things are hard. This is supposed to be hard. College is supposed to be hard. And when you get through with this, the next thing is to make sure that you're not wasting the time of those who have invested blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm sure money into you being here, right? So if you don't do nothing else today, make sure that you remember who it was that you showed that letter to when they said you got accepted. You remember who it was?
Wow.
When you opened that mailbox and it said, congratulations. Who was that first person? Because I'm sure they had something to do with you being here today. Do not grow and forget.
Wow.
Amen.
There are a lot of people that forget how they got it. I call it economic Alzheimer's.
Dementia. Got dementia up here.
You forgot
Yep.
what it was to get you here, and now you think you did it all alone. You did it all by yourself, and you didn't. Trust me. I know how hard it is. I understand that. I got accepted to Clark Atlanta University, and I ended up going to another school, and I regretted it. I regretted the experience. I've been the homecoming guy for like twice, I think. I've been like, to my little wave or whatever. I think it's my own way of trying to say, well, I still have my roots here. The reason that I'm on the radio today is because of Clark Atlanta, Clark College.
Wow.
When I was in like the 2nd grade, I had a speech impediment. So basically my W's and my R's were reversed. My name is Wyan, this is Ryder, whatever. So they took 8 of us from Collier Heights Elementary School and brought us over here and put us in a room and basically taught us hooked on phonics, right? How to pronounce and how to enunciate and how to do all those things. And my grandfather on Sunday morning would hand me the paper and say, he put on classical music and say, Tim, what's going on in sports? Read the comics to me. And I had to do all of these things and regurgitate stories. That's why people say, you're such a good storyteller, because he made me do it when I was a baby, right? So they put the before and after on. They showed us, had us, here's what the students sounded like before they came to Clark College. Here's what they sound like afterwards. And the first time I put those headphones on and heard myself on the radio, I knew what I wanted to be. So without a Clark College, there would not be a Ryan Cameron, because that came from adversity. So anything that you may be thinking that you're going through that is a problem, oh, you know what, it's just be me and my mom. It's me and my mom. My dad's not around. I kind of had that thing going too. I'm already gonna be at a disadvantage because of my race, my whatever, all that. It's all about the mindset that you have. I have always felt that everything I've done has been with a purpose. I remember high school basketball team, right? And one thing I've learned and you said you were marketing for the Hawks. The people who have to market a basketball team are really, really up against a lot. Let me tell you why. 95% of the payroll goes to 14 people who really don't care what you think. You hear what I'm saying? So that means only the players get 95% of the money. So everybody else is just kind of getting the rest. And they don't care what you think, what you want to do. Imagine how hard that would be for a business person to try to get somebody to sit. LeBron, let me run this. Dave, let me like LeBron. Man, all right, man. 95% of the payroll from 14 people, not like a football team. So when I was working for the Hawks, and I learned a very hard lesson. Always be prepared for your shot. You always say, and I always tell my kids in my foundation, your elevator speech, right? Example number one. If you are at the top of the Westin Peachtree Plaza, it has 73 floors. It takes exactly 1 minute and 3 seconds to get from floor 73 to the lobby. Imagine what you would do with the person that you wanted to have on that floor, on that elevator, if they walked onto that elevator. Who would you want it to be?
Obama.
The president, it would be Oprah, and it's just you and them. What would your shot be? What would your speech be? So when people say, I want to do this, I want to do that, or I do this, and I spit, and I do, I'm like, go ahead then. And the first rhyme out your mouth got an N-word in it. I don't know what I can do to help you. You know, if you don't have a plan, you're not going to do well. So I say, you know, to a lot of people come to me all the time, I want to do what you do. I want to do what you do. Are you ready to do the work? You know, how strong is your struggle? I was an intern for a year. I ate prizes. You don't hear what I'm saying. The prizes that I would give away, at the end of the day, I took home. That's what I would eat. So y'all talk about oodles and noodles. I didn't have it. Just Doritos and Pepsi, because I was known as the Dorito man, Ryan Cameron. So I worked for a year for no money, but I was there every day. But I was ready for my shot, because I knew most of the things that I've had happen to me in my life have been because somebody else messed up, and I was ready. You know, favor ain't fair.
That's right.
You know, so I think for a class like this today, where you're still trying to figure it out, you got to realize that, you know, if you really want to have those yacht dreams, that you have to also understand this. When I went to D.C. for that 80 grand, they had another radio station that came back, right? It was 97.5, right? And so they knew I was going to come back to 97.5. So the old station said, well, we'll offer you 130 grand to come back. And I was like, ooh, really? And so then another station said, well, we'll offer you 500 grand to come back. And I was like, what? Now remember, always bet on yourself and then double down. I left for how much? How much money?
80.
How much did I come back for?
Almost $500,000.
Over $500,000. Same guy. Betting on myself. Now that, of course, increased and increased and increased, and I was able to be one of the top paid people in the radio business. But remember, I had to bet on myself first, because I'm sure there's somebody here that's going to be telling you, beware the dream slayer. I know. You know, back in the day, they call them haters, but I call them dream killers. And it could be somebody that's in your family. Whoa. It could be somebody, oh, yeah, wait till Joe Buddy at the cotty. You know, that's what they used to tell me. I thought I was going to be an Army officer, because I was in JROTC in high school, right? So I had all the medals and the braids, and I was leading the drill team. Hip hop, hip hop, I was like, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to officers candidate school, and I'm going to be in the Army. I'm going to be an officer, right? So they have this thing called the ASVAB test. Anybody know what that is? So the ASVAB test is basically all these geometric shapes that you fold up and say what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. So I take the ASVAB test, and I'm all excited because I know I'm going to be an officer. I know I'm going to be running the Army. And I sit there with my sergeant, and I go, he said, well, I got your, I'm in Cobb County. So
that's why.
He said, hey, Ryan,
Where you at?
Ryan, we got your results from your test. Have a seat there. I was like, where I'm going? He's like, well, you know, based on your results, you're gonna be an infantryman.
Ah.
And I was like, what is that? He said, well, if there's a battle and everybody has to run up the hill, you're gonna go first. I was like, no, I ain't. And that was the beginning and the end of my military career. Because basically I did not have that aptitude to do that. It didn't stop me from getting into the Radio Hall of Fame, though.
Yeah.
It didn't stop me from getting 2 Emmys. It didn't stop me from being the first of the PA announcers for the Hawks. What I'm saying is, just in case this doesn't end up being what you want to be, it's okay. But still have something else in the bag. You know, go to the bag, secure the bag. You know, that's what y'all say, right? You want to secure the bag?
Yeah.
You know, is it a book bag or is it a hockey bag? What kind of bag you want? You want a hockey? That's what I'm trying to get. You got yacht dreams, right? Yeah, I mean, so all of it is really like based on your ability to adapt. It's not really about the cards you get dealt. It's just how you play them. You know, I'm sure you've heard that before. You know, my high school basketball team, there was 12 people on the team. You know, and I don't know if you've ever tried out for a sport. They always put the list who made the team on the you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it said Ryan and Todd, see me. See me.
That ain't a position.
and it's 11 other people on the team. Ryan and Todd, see me. So we go to the coach's office and he says, well, you know, I only got 12 spots and I can't decide who's gonna make the team. So y'all gonna have to play each other one-on-one. Wow. And whoever loses, you can just be the manager. From day one. It's one thing I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be the manager. So we played one-on-one and I made a team. Adversity, you have to be willing to go the extra mile because you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to win. Like this thing is set up against all of us. No matter what we're trying to accomplish, then you wake up and you saw what happened in that Walmart parking lot.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
A man's just waiting in the Walmart parking lot for his friends to come out. Somebody says there's a suspicious person in the parking lot. He ends up getting shot over 30 times. Somebody else gets injured. He's black. No weapon, no nothing. The thing in Starbucks. Every Starbucks I go to, it's almost like a miniature homeless shelter. Right? I used to go to one in our building in College Square at 5 o'clock. It's already 20 people in there. Ain't nobody ordering nothing.
Yep, sitting there.
They just sitting there using the Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is, all of this is good, but I tell my son all the time, and I tell my daughter who's at Middle Tennessee State University, the goal in all of this is for y'all to get back home.
Come on.
You know, so if you find yourself in a situation that you feel like is not going to be to your advantage, I would rather you get out of that situation and arrive back home to your parents than arrive to Willie Watkins. You know, because we've all been in situations where it just looks like it's going to go wrong. And hopefully you'll never have to experience that. You know, finally, I'll say this, is that I think that you're surrounded by a campus and university that has always walked the walk, as the Migos say. You know,
Talking like I walk.
there you go. Walking. I mean, since day one. Since day one, right? You said, oh, Lord. But to have a guy like this who is vested, and I think he's told me over 70 millionaires have been through here and 1 billionaire, that I want you to realize that when you make it out of here, just like how the young lady from Boeing came back and give back, you got to come back and you got to keep making him famous.
Yep.
Don't be like some people and wait till you get on the stage and accept an award and then remember it. Because I'm sure he could do things anywhere else. I'm sure he gets offers all the time to go other places. I'm sure somebody's going, hey, let's call Dr. Kimbro. Nope, I'm Gucci. So I'm saying to you, I'm sure there were a lot of people that wanted to get this class that didn't get in, right? Now that you're here, make the best of it, make the most of it, but also realize that I mean, it's a giant, man. It's a giant. Like, he got books on the shelf.
Yep.
It ain't ebook.
Yep.
I mean, I ain't nothing against ebook, but I'm saying like it's books on the shelf. So don't discount the fact that for him, nobody's gonna turn him down because they know the pedigree and the resume. So keep making him famous. And I really appreciate y'all, paying attention to my little words. I'm just a little old single big head, knucklehead, bankhead who's just trying to make my mama proud. And if you have anything you want to ask me, I'd be more than pleased to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you. And she's sick.
A little bit, y'all. I came today.
She got the high nine. She just say H1N1, baby. You got that high nine.
It was 50 degrees, then I went to 80. Like, what's going on?
I tell Lindsay, go get my speaker, girl.
Don't shake Lindsay's hand.
Call her up. Go get my speaker. I can't get Burnett, man. Fire it. Hey, man, he's pouring into you. I know you got a question or two. Don't be shy.
I love it when it's perfect.
You probably traumatized them for 30 minutes, man. Just came right out of them.
I'll start the questions off.
Mm-hmm. Throw the first
Yes,
one.
Claire.
Okay, everyone knows me. My name is Claire Lompenois, class of 2006.
Yes, Claire.
Dr. Kimbro was also my professor, and everything you said was true. He is a huge giant. Part of the reason why I came back to be around his presence as well. But the question I wanted to ask you was, of this dinner party, what came of that? Was that a mastermind that you guys created? Have you continued with masterminding with these individuals? It's not a one and done. How has that impacted your life career-wise as well as your personal growth?
Well, Luda was my intern. So that's how our relationship started. Gabrielle Union, in her latest book, actually mentions this dinner party. The one thing that I gathered from all of this is that Prince was trying to recruit us to become Jehovah's Witnesses.
I'm the recruiter.
And we had no idea that's what we were.
You are crazy.
I promise you, this
crazy.
is true. This is true. I was like, he kept on saying little stuff like, how do you feel about it? I was like, and but it just showed me, like Toni Braxton was actually in Vegas at the same time, performing, and she was like, it is so expensive and all this and putting on this show and doing this, and Prince was like, I don't pay anyone for anything. And she was like, what are you talking about? He was like, this is Vegas. She's like, I wish you would have told me. He was like, you never asked. Wow. And it goes back to, you got to ask, like, I have an app. I have 280,000 followers on Twitter. I have 80,000 followers on Instagram. I have 89,000 likes on the Facebook. And none of it has made me any money. So I have an app now. I think I'm almost at 50,000 downloads. There's a question on there right now for those of you students. If you download the app, that has something to do with this discussion. You download the app and go into the section. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. You're going to do a little research and find it. There's a $50 Longhorn Steak gift card in there for the first person who answers correctly. So what you have to do is download my app.
Okay. Pull out your phone,
It's
people.
free. And find the question, because it is directly, it has Dr. Kimbro's name in it, it has his class, and it has a question.
Wow.
All right?
What's the name of that? What's the name of that?
Wow.
You know that? It's really serious.
What's his name?
Ryan Cameron. On iOS and on Google Play, on Play Store. So download it. First person to answer the question, $50 gift card.
Y'all not competitive.
Oh, right now.
Come on, we got time for
I got,
we got time for one last question. Who has a
in the
burning
grade,
question? Yes, Miss Perry.
Yes.
Good morning, how are you?
Hey, Miss Perry.
My name is Abria Perry. I'm a sophomore business administration student. I have a dual concentration in finance and international business.
Yes.
And my question for you is, what a phrase or words do you have on your wristband? That's often a question that Dr. Kimbro asks us. What do we live by? And I want to know what yours are.
Again, it's almost like the hard things are hard. It's also inverted. And I'm going to give you my other one, because I always carry two.
Wow.
Until somebody asks me.
Ryan, you are so gracious.
And these are
man.
around the world. It just says been blessed.
Yeah.
It's real simple. And it's just like, I just believe, and I'll leave you with this, that if you give good, you get good.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you go somewhere and you may be going into the store, and I'm not making fun of anybody, but I'm just saying, you be walking to the store, it's like,
excuse me, ma'am, I don't mean no harm.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Lord. Right? And, or maybe somebody nowadays, somebody with a stroller. You know what I'm saying? That's a new one.
Yep.
It's not about what they do with the money. It's about the act of what you do to give. Okay? So even though you may say, man, I know they finna go get some drink or some weed, that has nothing to do with your giving.
Yep, that's true.
About 3 years ago, it was raining. I live on Nancy Creek. It's raining hard. And I have a foundation. I got a Gates Scholar right now that has just finished NYU, that's now studying abroad. Have about 50 students that are in colleges around the world. And I just know that me giving to them has helped me out in my own personal life. So it's raining. And Nancy Creek is rising. I mean, it's rising. And the water's coming up, and the water's coming up, And my neighbor calls, and she's out of town. She says, what? It's really raining hard today. I was like, you have no idea. I see a frog jumping off her deck. Not a patio.
Deck.
Her deck. Which means that's how high the water is.
Wow.
So the water's coming up, and it comes over. My kids' playground the swings are covered.
Wow.
And the water's coming up, and it's almost to the house. And I'm sitting at the back, and my kid's like, Dad, what are you doing? I'm just like, I'm just praying. And the water gets like within a couple of feet of my house, which the house next door ended up having like $50,000 in flood damage. And the water just stops.
Wow.
Just stops. The rain don't stop, but the water stops. And I don't have any other reason. I don't have any explanation other than it was something about something I've done in my life that I've done when I had nothing, or when I've had something, or when I was in between, about making sure that you look out for your brother and your sister and you help them, that made that water stop. So, I have this bracelet on to remind me that I've been blessed. As long as we waking up and we breathing and we walking and our heart is beating, and you're able to control this, because this is what's going to defeat you here at Clark Atlanta. It won't be the professor who ain't listening to you, who's giving you the assignments. This is the most powerful. I learned that when my grandfather was passing. They were like, you want to put a stomach pump in him? I was like, yeah, he's not eating. Okay, so it cost me another $5,000 to get the pump. And then he still wasn't eating. It was like a reason for me to understand that this controls everything. Me doing this, you breathing, you moving your foot, all of this. So this is the most powerful. So as long as you can maintain this and say, my goal, I have a goal every day of what I'm trying to do. Don't make it so you don't get it. Like, have goals every week of what you're going to try to do, things you're going to try to accomplish, and then accomplish those things, and then, aim for the stars. Or aim for the moon, they say, well, because even if you miss the moon, you'll hit the stars. Thank you.
Wow.
I'm trying not to wait 12 years to get invited back now.
Well, do you want to come up and present?
2018, I can't take it.
Brian Cameron, we got some lovely parting gifts.
Oh.
This is Dean Clem.
Hey,
So very, very much for your words of inspiration and encouragement. And they were awfully attentive to everything. So I know that there's some really great lessons that we've learned here today. So thank you so much for sharing just a little something from the university. Thank you.
Must have yacht dreams, move with purpose. You got to get a team. Dreams don't have deadlines. Be willing to do whatever it takes to win. Beware of the dream slayers. Always bet on yourself. Always be prepared for your shot. How strong is your struggle? Wow. It's all about mindset. Hard things are hard. Make sure people draw a line under your name and not through it. Well, managers, here you are. Told you this is the fastest year of your life. You had this, you sat at the feet of a griot when it comes to wealth. Man, and people say to me all the time, and Ryan, what you just said, not once did you mention money. Not once did you mention the word finance or financial literacy or blah, blah, blah. But everything that you said has to do about success, and part of that is economic success. So I love you guys. Adios. This time next week, your final project is due. And come up here and meet Ryan Cameron.
Before you go, I got one thing to say.
You got one too? Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I got my,
So,
look at the gift she gave me.
So everybody knows. You guys know I did a presentation earlier in the semester. I mentioned about genuine gift giving. When you attitude of gratitude, yes, always give back. That's the reason why I came back to Clark. I graduated in 06. I came back to give back, so I went ahead and saw through my goal and got Dr. Kimbro his monogram cufflinks, right? So I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be of service to you guys this year.
And you were so of service.
Claire.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Come on up and meet Ryan Cameron.